I didn't set her plate today. I stood there, holding it. Just holding it. Like it still belonged to her. I kept looking at the chair. Her chair. It was just there. Still pushed in, neat. Like she might walk in and sit down. But she won't. She never will again. Not after last Thursday. Last Thursday. It was supposed to be lasagna night. Her favorite. I bought the fresh basil and tomatoes. I even preheated the oven. She never came home. Not from the doctor's. I remember the sound of the phone. The silence that followed. The plate slipped from my hand. It shattered. I didn't pick it up for hours. I still hear her hum sometimes. In the hallway. In the kitchen. That little tune from the old record she loved. She used to sway when she cooked. Just a little. A rhythm only she knew. Don't forget the time, she'd say. As if I ever could. She loved garlic. Everything smelled like garlic. My shirts. Even the curtains. And she laughed at everything. Even my awful jokes. Especially my awful jokes. She used to sit right there. Left side of the table. Always barefoot. She hated wearing socks. Said they made her feel trapped. Then yesterday, I found her scarf in the laundry. Still smelled like her. Lavender and old wood. I held it to my face and just stood there. I thought I was fine. I told everyone I was fine. But I'm not. Because today, I almost set her plate again. Almost. My hand just reached for it. Like nothing had changed. But everything has. Everything. People say it gets easier. That grief softens with time. But they didn't sit across from her for 32 years. Didn't watch her pick tomatoes out of her salad every damn time. Didn't know the way she twirled her pasta, like a ballerina. They don't know the weight of silence. The sound of only one fork scraping the plate. Or the echo of her absence. That echo is the loudest thing in the room. Last night, I dreamed she came back. She didn't say anything. Just sat. Smiled. Passed me the salt. I cried when I woke up. Because it was salt I'd forgotten that night. Lasagna night. I keep trying to cook like she did. But I burn the onions. And I always forget the damn salt. There's a groove in the table where her ring used to tap. I run my finger across it sometimes. Like I'm tracing her. I talk to that seat now. Like she's still in it. I ask what she'd like for dinner. I answer for her. It's pathetic, maybe. But it's mine. This grief. This ritual. And I don't know who I am without it. Without her. Sometimes, I wonder if she's watching. If she sees me fumbling through the recipes. If she laughs. I hope she laughs. I hope I still make her laugh. Because I can't laugh without her. Not really. I went to the farmer's market alone this morning. Bought carrots like she liked. But forgot the parsley. Again. The woman at the stall asked where my wife was. I smiled. Lied. Said she was home. She's not. She's nowhere. And everywhere. She's in the steam rising from the soup. She's in the clatter of dishes. She's in the silence between bites. That seat will never be filled. Not really. And I don't know if I'll ever get used to that. If I should. Or if I even want to. The kitchen used to be her sanctuary. A place of rhythm, of warmth, of garlic and soft humming. Now it's just loud. Not with life. But with noise I make to drown out everything else. I dropped a pan on purpose today. Just to hear it. To feel something sharp and sudden. The clang echoed off the tile. Rattled the cupboard doors. Startled even me. I cursed at the stove. Slammed the drawers. Kicked the table leg and winced when I hit my toe. I laughed bitterly. Pain was better than the nothing. She used to say the kitchen listened. That it remembered. I think it does. The oven groans now. The faucet leaks. Her favorite mug cracked in my hand last week. And I stood there staring at the pieces. Wondering if I should glue them back. or just let them go. I screamed into a dish towel, bit down on it like a child. My voice was muffled, but my grief was not. I miss how she moved. She danced from sink to counter. A private waltz only the vegetables got to see. Now I stumble, angry and clumsy. The rhythm is gone. I told the silence to shut up today, but it didn't. It never does. Amen. I sat at the table again tonight. One plate, one fork. No candle, no prayer. She always said grace, quietly. Almost like a secret she whispered just to God. Tonight, I didn't say anything. I stared at the bowl in front of me. Soup. Too salty. She would have teased me for that. See? You always overdo it when you're sad. She was right. I stared at the steam for a long time, imagining her face in the swirl, her smile. That one dimple only I ever noticed. I chewed slowly. I didn't taste a thing. It could have been ashes. I wouldn't have known. I looked at her chair again. The one I haven't touched. Still tucked in neatly. Still hers. My elbow reached across the table by reflex, to pass her something that wasn't there. I pulled back, slowly, like I'd insulted a ghost. I don't talk much anymore. There's no one to answer. The house is quieter than ever. The clock ticks like thunder. The fridge hums like a lullaby. My breath is the only thing that reminds me I'm still alive. Her. This morning, I spoke to her again. Not in my head, not in some dream, out loud, like she was still across the room. Morning, I said. Sleep okay? I laughed at myself. Then I started telling her everything. I told her about the burnt toast, the leaking sink, the cat from next door that keeps scratching our fence. I told her I missed her hand on my shoulder, missed her correcting my grammar, missed how she always knew when I was lying. I told her I was scared, that I was lonely, that I didn't know what to do with a world that didn't have her in it. And for a moment, I swear, I felt something, a warmth, like when she brushed past me to grab a spoon, or when she'd lean in, whispering some jokes she knew only I'd get. I didn't turn around. I didn't breathe. Just stood in it. That memory, that hope, whatever it was, it felt like her. I asked, would you hate me if I learned to live without you? Silence. Then the sun hit the kitchen tile, just the way it used to, on Sunday mornings. That was enough of an answer for me. I opened the cabinet slowly. There it was, her old recipe box, still tucked behind the flour, like she'd always kept it. I hadn't touched it since the funeral. I stood there for a while, just staring. Fingertips trembling, I opened the lid. The smell hit me first. Paper, cinnamon, thyme. I flipped through the cards. Her handwriting danced across each one, delicate and looping like she was still there, still guiding me. Sunday pot roast. That was the one. Always her favorite. The kind of meal she made when guests came over, but mostly just for us. I could hear her voice in my head. Don't rush the onions. They get bitter when they're angry. I laughed. It came out rough. I tied her apron around my waist. Still smelled faintly of thyme. It felt like armor, or a hug. The carrots felt unfamiliar in my hands, the knife heavier than I remembered. I chopped slowly, carefully. I followed every step, like a ritual. I preheated the oven, stirred the broth, tasted it, added more garlic, like she always would. The kitchen began to smell like memory, warm, savory, full. For a moment, I wasn't alone. I set the table. 2 plates. I know it's just me, but I couldn't help it. Maybe I didn't want to help it. I pulled out the good napkins, the ones we used when friends came over. She believed every dinner deserved respect. I lit one candle. It flickered like her smile. I poured wine, only half a glass. She always said I was a lightweight, I sat down, took a deep breath, looked across the table. The seat was empty, but not silent. I took the first bite. Too much rosemary. She would have wrinkled her nose, then eaten every bite anyway. I said it out loud. Needs more salt. It made me laugh. A real one. Quiet, cracked, but real. Dinner wasn't perfect, but it was mine. Ours, in a way. I cleaned the plate, washed the dishes, didn't cry. That felt like something. I woke up before the sun. No alarm, no noise. Just that strange kind of silence you only notice when you're alone. Her side of the bed was cold. It always was, even when she was still here. She slept curled near the edge, like she never wanted to take up too much space. I reached across anyway. My hand met empty sheets. I still do it. Every morning. I walked down the hallway slowly. The floorboards creaked in the same 3 spots. She used to step around them like it was a dance. Me? I step right on them now. Loud. On purpose. It reminds me this house is still alive. I passed the hallway mirror. I looked older today. Grayer. She used to say my wrinkles looked like folded stories. Now they just feel like time. Collecting dust on my skin. The kitchen felt different. Not empty, but different. I poured 1 cup of coffee. Black. Too bitter. She always added a splash of milk and a pinch of cinnamon. I don't. Her slippers were still under the couch. One tilted over, like she just kicked them off. Like she might come back and slip them on again. She won't. But I can't move them. I sat in her reading chair. She always claimed it was too small for guests, but it fit her perfectly. She read the same book 3 times, just to cry at the ending again. She said crying reminded her she still felt things. I don't cry much anymore. Not because I'm strong, but because I'm tired. Later, I opened the back door. The garden was a mess. Weeds taking over her roses. She loved those roses. Said their thorns made the bloom honest. I knelt down and pulled one. Thorns dug into my thumb. I didn't flinch. It felt right. I whispered, "You'd hate this mess." Then I smiled. Because she absolutely would. Inside, I set the table again. 1 plate. No napkin. No wine glass. Just me. I used to hate the silence. Now I sit with it. Let it breathe. Sometimes, I talk to her chair. Not with desperation. Just with rhythm. Like an old habit I don't want to break. I still miss her voice. But I've learned to hear it in memory. She's in the way I cut the bread. In the hum I make when I stir the pot. In the way I fold the towels. She's not gone. Not really. She's just changed form. She's in the sunlight through the kitchen window. In the breeze that moves the curtains. In the warmth of the coffee mug between my hands. Grief is not a storm. It's weather. It comes. It lingers. Sometimes it clears. I've stopped setting her plate. But I still leave her seat untouched. I don't want to fill it. I don't need to. I've learned to sit across from it. And smile. And eat. And live. Can I ever get used to the empty seat? Maybe not. But maybe. I don't have to.